Hello everyone, this is IT491Unit1Recording. The Unit 1 discussion, the initial post must be at least 100 words and have at least one APA reference with in-text citation and is due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. As a way of introducing yourself to the instructor and your peers, please post the following: your name and a description of your current position. How do you see yourself applying the knowledge, and post a photo of yourself if you want to. Project description. Describe the topic problem you are considering for your project. What was the process you used to narrow your project into something you could implement within the 8-week time frame for this course? How will this project add to your professional portfolio that will help potential employers recognize your knowledge, skills, and abilities? Respond to 2 others by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Provide feedback on the following. Is the project complex enough to meet the course requirements? Can the project be completed within the 8-week term? What additional questions or recommendations do you have for the person? And include at least one open-ended question. That's a question that cannot be answered with a yes or no in one of your replies. Replies must be at least 50 words each. The Unit 1 assignment is due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. You're going to write a proposal for your capstone project using the IT491 Week 1 assignment doc that's attached to the Unit 1 assignment. Don't delete sections of this document, but submit all of it. So you have the capstone ideas, you have the Week 1 assignment, and you have the work log. Be sure you watch the video presentation, which is part of the module for Unit 1. If I don't approve of your project, you will receive a 0 for this assignment. So, in other words, you want to give me as much information as you can. Unless I've already approved it, you still want to make sure you get it all, everything filled out. Now, if you want to get approval beforehand, then you need to contact me so we can talk about the project you have decided to do. So the problem definition, you're going to talk about the organization. You're going to tell me if it's fictional or if it's real. How large is the company? You know, how many employees, how many computers, what kind of network do they have? What is the problem you're addressing? So you need to be solving some kind of problem. Are you expanding the service? Are you building a new network? Are you moving locations? Are you creating a new department? Are you improving security? Now, you cannot have help on the project, so you can't do it at work if you have help from anyone else. So even if you do it at work, you're still going to have to present the whole project yourself. So if you're doing it at work, then you'll need to do a virtual environment to show that you did the project. Okay, what are the outcomes? What's the desired outcome of this project? These outcomes should be measurable and specific. So, for instance, if you are improving performance for the existing computers, then how would you measure that as the outcome? What would be the specifics of that? And it would really just depend on what you're going for. What is the proposed solution? What do you propose to complete your project? What tools, methodologies, network diagram, IP addressing, security technologies, virtualization, operating systems will be used? You need to act like you're doing the actual project. Even though you might be using a virtual environment, you should still search for the software, the hardware, look up costs, as if you were actually doing the physical project, even though you're doing it virtually. You must let me know what you plan to do for the demonstration as well. So, objective alignment. Each objective should be addressed in 1 or 2 complete sentences. Don't give me a big long paragraph where you combine them all. I want them separated. I want them specific. How does your project specifically apply industry standards to the implementation and support of network systems and computer devices? So I want specifics on all of those. You may not start your actual project until you have gotten my approval. So I will give you a 0 if I haven't approved it, and you'll have to redo it. So give me as much information as you can so that I can tell whether it's a project that will be viable. You need to decide right off if you'll be using your home computer for your project, or you'll have to make other arrangements. You are required to have at least one server and one client in a domain configuration. So you might say, well, my company has 10 computers. You aren't going to create 10 virtual machines. You're going to do a server, which is your domain controller, and a client like Windows 10, Windows 7. And that's what you're going to use for the demonstration. You're going to have to install the software and do screenshots. Now, for configuration of the routers, you can go, you can do that online, because in a virtual environment, you don't really have a router that you can configure. So you don't look at your home computer as part of the project. You look at the domain controller and the client, and they are connected to a virtual router. They're connected to virtual printers. You can do file sharing, file and print sharing, groups, Active Directory, DNS, those kind of things. You're expected to be working on the project every week and be giving proof that you did that. So a lot of them will ask for screenshots. When you do the final hands-on demonstration, it will be live either by Skype or Zoom. That's up to you, which you choose. And you must be able to show me that you have created the project and be able to show me that you solved the problem that you identified in the Unit 1. Now, some people have picked going from IP4 to IPv version 6, and you can't really show that in a virtual machine, but you have to create the domain. Then you can show your router configurations in a diagram, and that's fine, but you still have to do the hands-on. You still have to have the domain. You still have to create Active Directory DNS. You still have to do all those things. So don't let that slide, because then you'll find yourself at the last having to do that, and that's when things go wrong. So the work log is attached to the Unit 1, but it's a progressive assignment and will be submitted during week 6. You do not have to turn it in until week 6 or Unit 6. Keep track of each time you work on the project, whether you're doing research, whether you're doing actual technology. So for instance, if you're looking up things, you're researching costs, that would go under research. If you're actually doing the work, say you're installing Server 2012, then that would be logged also. Don't just turn in a bunch of research. You actually have to turn in the work that you perform. Every bit of work you do on the project should be in your work log. And it tells you how to format it. And so you would put what you did. If you did research, then give me, the reference for that research. And every little thing you do. So each time you work on your project, if you make a note of it, then you don't have to go back and try to remember. That's all I have for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know.